10, Cleus, and Sight have finished their reading and decided to continue formulating their plan. 10 is slumped over in his chair, looking like his soul has left his body. No matter how many times it happens, he is just unable to get used to these long chapter readings. Cleus, however, seems invigorated after reading. I have an idea of who the dealers are, but they know who I am as well. 10 forces his head to look at Cleus, and with a weak voice he asks him the question. What does that mean? Sight steps in as she knows that Cleus will not be able to explain it properly. Cleus has a bad reputation with some of the students. He read these chapters to them as well? Cleus puts his right hand on the book laptop and smiles as he answers. It was just a misunderstanding, a difference in cultures. Sight nods in agreement. 10 looked confused as the two didn't answer the question, but they seemed to feel like they did. He doesn't want to dwell on it too long, so he continues the meeting. If you know the dealers, we can just watch them from a distance, right? Cleus nods and answers 10 with a serious look on his face. Yes, I am sure this time it will go okay. This time? We've tried it before but ran into some issues. What kind of issues? Sight lowers her head as she isn't allowed to truly criticize her king, so Cleus has to answer himself. Moving around with my eyes closed took a second to get used to, but now I can sense things around me pretty accurately. But when things get too far away, I can't sense them, so I need my eyes to actually see them. And why is that a problem? Both Sight and Cleus take a moment of silence as they are unsure of how to answer the question. Eventually, Sight breaks the silence. It just is. 10 doesn't know what to make of it, but clearly they don't want to talk about it, so he just lets it go. Well, this time I'm here, so it should be okay. The three of them make their way outside into an alley. The three of them then sneakily look around the corner at a student that Cleus knows is a Myos dealer. 10 and Sight are making sure that they aren't spotted. Cleus is unable to sense the dealer. Is he still there? Both 10 and Sight answer in unison. Yes, he is still there. Cleus' face scrunches up. A king shouldn't let his subordinates take charge of important things like this. A king should take the lead and inspire those beneath him. Sight sighs and starts shaking her head. 10 doesn't know what is going on and looks at Sight and Cleus. Cleus seems frustrated with his inability to help, and opens his eyes. Now show me this Cretan. Cleus now pokes his head around the corner as well. Clearly seeing the dealer relaxes him a bit. As his eyes are focused on the dealer, a group of female students walk into his line of sight. 10's skin starts to crawl as he feels someone's aura rise at an alarming rate. He looks at Cleus, whose body is surrounded by a heat haze that distorts the air and space around him. 10 is extremely confused and slightly disturbed at what is happening in front of him. He can see that Cleus is drooling, as if he just saw something delicious. Cleus, without warning, starts running towards the group of girls, screaming as he dashes. Damn! Once he is within range, he jumps up with his mouth open. He has fangs that appeared out of nowhere. His aim is one of the girls' asses. Mid-air, he screams, "Booty!" Luckily, the girls are aware that Cleus is prone to do this kind of attack. They were able to get out of the way and no booties were bitten. Cleus flies past them and lands. He immediately looks back with his eyes glowing red and drool dripping from his mouth. He then whispers his next words softly. Booty. 10 is absolutely stunned and shocked at what just happened. Sight, knowing this would happen, was able to react before Cleus started his second attack. She grabs a blindfold from her pocket and in one smooth motion wraps it around Cleus's eyes. The dealer looks at what just happened as if he saw something despicable and walks away. Sight bows, and with her head lowered, she claps her hands together. I'm sorry. Please forgive my master. The girls are upset and start cussing at Cleus and Sighty. 10 is looking at it all unfold with his eyes wide open. He can't believe it. He thinks to himself that this is why Cleus walks around with his eyes closed all the time. The girls, though upset, walk away while cussing up a storm. Cleus is sitting on the ground angry at himself and the situation. Ten walked over to them and he just wanted to understand the situation. What was that? Sight raises her head back up and looks at Ten. In our world, we use higher reasoning to manipulate blood. Certain families have developed an ability to consume others' blood and use it to strengthen their own. So he was trying to suck their blood. Yes. But why her ass? It's a royal custom to drink blood from the softest place. In our world, it's an honor to have royalty drink your blood. But here it's deemed offensive. So you're a booty biter? Cleus stands up, takes off the blindfold, and has his eyes closed again. But only the finest of booties. And this planet, with its body modifications, is like heaven. I just can't help myself. Ten looks at Sight with some sympathy, as her life must be hard dealing with a king like this. Ten looks at where the dealer was, then back at Cleus. Me and Sighty will follow the dealer. As the king, you should sit on your throne and wait for us to return with good news. Cleus leans his head back and looks slightly down at Ten as he contemplates his words, but he eventually smiles. You're right. Cleus walks back to his throne room. Ten and Sight continue their surveillance of the dealer.